Welcome to another 1 year later review. This time we're taking a look at Bayside's Cult. So Bayside had been around for what seems like forever at this point. If you kind of live in their home area, the Long Island area, chances are you've seen them at least once or twice. They play a ton of shows, and they play a ton locally as well, besides just touring around the country and around the world. Cult is the follow-up to 2011's Killing Time, which I actually felt was one of their best albums that they've ever put out. It was a fantastic blend of that emotional hard rock mixed with pop punk, and it just was a fantastic, catchy, gritty album that they put out. Cult was a little bit different. It was a little bit toned down. It wasn't quite as flashy as Killing Time was, and unfortunately it really hasn't stuck with me as much. There's nothing bad about this album. I wouldn't say it's a bad Bayside album. There's no real cringeworthy songs on here. There's no songs that are going to make me say, you know, Bayside's lost their way or anything like that. I mean, through and through, this album is pure Bayside. You are going to hear everything that you're going to expect from them, the guitar riffs, Anthony Ranieri's voice, you know, those deep emotional lyrics, the sarcasm, things like that. But just overall, there's nothing that really stands out about this album, and it's kind of bland. Anthony Ranieri's vocal delivery is by the books, what you'd expect from him. There's no real standout guitar riffs on here that stay stuck with you. There's no lyrics that kind of stay stuck with you. You know, it's one of those albums where you're going to listen to it maybe once or twice and then probably kind of forget about it and go back to some of their other albums. Again, not to say that there's anything bad about this album or anything wrong with this album. It's just that it doesn't really do anything to stand out. And not just amongst Bayside albums, but amongst the kind of hard rock, emo rock, pop punk genre. There's a lot of other bands out there, you know, many more than when Bayside really started out. They have a lot of competition that kind of, you know, are doing things that they're not really doing on this album. Occasionally from this album, there's a few songs I might throw in that I'll listen to in my car. Pigsty is one of them, which is a decent song. Bear With Me is another one that's pretty decent. The opener is a nice track to listen to. Got this like pulsing drum beat that it starts with and then it just bursts into Anthony Ranieri. There's nothing that really stands out about the songs individually and nothing about the album in general. And that's this album's biggest flaw, is that it's just uninspired. It really doesn't feel like it's striving to do anything more. I mean, 2011's Killing Time was such a fantastic album from them. I mean, their pinnacle people usually refer to is Walking Wounded, which had some of their best hit singles. But honestly, I like Killing Time a little bit more than Walking Wounded. I think it was a better effort, a more mature effort from the band. And it's unfortunate that after that fantastic album and the direction they were going, Cult kind of just feels like a by-the-book Bayside album and just doesn't really do much to catch your attention, or at least to stay with it. So after 365 days, I really don't go back to this album that much, unfortunately, for it. It's, again, nothing bad about this album, just nothing that catches my attention.